Good morning. We are live. We have 4 questions have come in this week, so thought we'd jump right into it. Number one, what's up with Toronto traffic? It's chaos out there. I don't know if anyone has been driving anywhere in Toronto, but going north and south on any street or east-west has been a nightmare lately. I can attribute that to a few things. Number one, the Ontario line is starting to get constructed. So if you're at anywhere King and Bathurst, that's where our office is, it is an absolute grind to get anywhere, especially coming up Bathurst. City's back, schools are back, everything. I believe that more and more employers are coming back for, not just one day of work a week, but maybe 2, 3, 4 days of work. So definitely this city is back up and thriving. And I believe that's why traffic is what it is. Also, if you've been trying to take a streetcar east-west on King, it does stop at Bathurst and you have to get off and take a bus. And it's just, no comment on that. That's for sure. Number two, has the rental market cooled off? I feel like I've answered this every week, but no, it definitely has not. Rentals are still extremely hot. People have been jumping in to rentals in droves. Anything I would say below the $2,500 a month mark is getting a ton of action. Heard of one the other day, $2,300 with parking, ended up with 10 offers and more offers coming in. And eventually the landlord just chose a great candidate and it went for $2,550, $2,600 or so. So definitely hot market when it comes to rentals still. 2 questions. Who pays the buyer agent? How much does it cost to list in Toronto? Yeah, great question. So I'll do each separately. So who pays the buyer agent? Typically, the buyer agent is paid for by the seller, like the listing seller. So that's typical. Now, it's not always the case. And in the contract that we do sign, there is a section on commission. So if you are a buyer agent and you're working with buyers, there is a section in there that talks about commission. And in Toronto, we're 2.5% typically. In Hamilton and areas, it's typically 2%, depending on your area. And who pays that? Typically, it is paid for by the seller after the proceeds of the sale, or from the proceeds of the sale, But not always the case. So definitely make sure that you read the agreement and you know exactly who's paying that commission and what that costs. Second part of that question, how much does it cost to list and sell a home in Toronto? I'll use Ontario and Toronto. So typically it's 5% plus HST to sell your home in Toronto. So that's divided by 2. So your 2.5% would go to the listing or the seller agent, and 2.5% plus HST would go to the buyer agent. So typically 5% plus HST to sell your property. Now it is negotiable, just saying. However, there's no standard. And if you are working with a realtor, make sure that you know exactly what services they are providing you and what exactly you're getting for 2.5% of selling your property. And I will say that not every system is set up equally, and there are agents who provide staging, who provide like myself, who provide staging and cleaning and painting and everything, media, pro photos, pro video, all that stuff, marketing. It's all built into the commission and comes out of that. I pay it on my end up front, and then it's part of that 2.5%, but I cover it up front for my sellers. So that's a risk that I would take on for the sellers to get their property looking amazing and on the market. Now there are cheaper ways, but I can't really speak to that because I have never done it that way. We are a full service brokerage here at Royal LePage Signature. So I try to offer every single service to my sellers every single time. So that's it. That's the 4 questions. Quick one this morning. Hope everyone has an amazing Wednesday. It's kind of rainy, but holding off a little bit. Let's hope. So have a great day, and we will talk soon next week. See you guys next week on the lives. If you have any questions, also just send me a message, send me a DM. Happy to answer them either, via DM if you don't want it to be discussed publicly, or if it, obviously general questions, if you don't mind them being on these live Q&As, happy to answer them here too. So totally up to you. Have an awesome day, awesome week.